Welcome to this great adventure of two sisters.
Absolutely not. Hey guys, welcome to the Regina Kids podcast. I am your host, Maxie.
With her lovely younger sister, Rita the Ham.
And here on the podcast, as you can see, sibling relationships can be loving and sometimes a bit
Dramatic.
affect me, please, complicated. So join us every week as we explore all aspects of having a sibling.
Come be our sibling.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome back to another episode of Regina's Kids. We here. I am
We
your host,
here.
Maxie.
I'm Rita. Welcome back,
And
guys. We missed y'all.
so we back in full swing in the summertime. Got the summertime curls flowing. How you doing today, sissy?
My hair's I'm feeling a little jealous because you all volumized over there and I'm still a little bit flat.
You gotta get your curls moisturized, girl.
I think they over moisturized. That's why I'm flat. But it'll be big in a couple of days. So I ain't gonna worry about it.
So, if you're new here, we've been at this podcast thing for a couple weeks now, and in the process,
Welcome.
we're talking about family, careers, sibling rivalries, just life things, different stuff that we're going through. So today's show, we're going to have Rita talk a little bit more about herself and some of the things that she's been through. Um, the title of the show is called Vision Without Vision. So let's just jump right in. I'll give you the floor, Rita, and you can explain what that title means to you.
Well, all righty then. You're just putting me on the spot. Now, I'm just playing. No, we talked about it. Um, so Vision Without Vision. So back in 2018, um, after I was trying to live my best life in Florida, I found out that I found out that I was losing. I was having an issue with my eye. It was mainly my left eye. So I was going through like laser treatments. I had no, it was longer than that. Um, was it 10? It was 10 plus years or so prior to where I was in a car accident. I had a concussion. There was some bleeding in my eye, and eventually, as it healed, it started having like scar tissue. So over the years, the scar tissue grew, and then I ended up needing to get that removed because it was pretty much detaching my retina. But I didn't find out about it until I moved to Florida. So fast forward to March of 19, I ended up having a back-to-back eye surgery. I mean, leaving up out that joint looked like I had just got out of a fight with Mike Tyson. I had to lay down flat face down for 2 months because I had the one surgery in March. She needed to go back in there um, and get some more scar tissue and things like that. Again in April. So for 2 months straight, I laid face down, which is crazy in itself because during that time, every week I could progressively stay up a little bit longer. So it started off at like 10 minutes in an hour, then it'll go to 15, then 30, and then finally just being able to uh, sit up and sleep however I sleep however I want to. So then also a little bit later dealing with that, when you do get a retinal surgery, they will put what this silicone oil in your eye. So two things can happen with the prolonged effects of having that in your eye, you can end up getting actually gray. So I mean, it honestly looks pretty cool when my eye is dilated. So yeah. So in my left eye, I am legally blind in my left eye, but since I still have vision in my right, they just say I'm visually impaired because I can still drive and things like that. But it really took effect to my lifestyle as far as being in like the makeup community. I had started doing nails, and it messes with your vision, because you can't see all of the grainy, finer details. So I just didn't feel comfortable in continuing with that. So that was a major, major life change for me.
So let's pause right there. So basically, you're saying that being visually impaired, you have no vision at all in your left eye.
No.
So how did that affect you mentally, knowing that you spent the latter part of your life doing hair, doing makeup, you were starting to be a nail tech, and now you basically can only see out of your right eye.
Um, Major, like a mental health break. Yeah. Uh, because this is like, you gotta understand, like I've been in the hair industry since I was 13. So having to having the challenge, I'm gonna call it a challenge, because I don't want people to think that it's not something that you can't overcome, or that you can't continue into doing something that you love. You It's honestly, um I I was depressed about it. I was really upset about it because prior to, my favorite things about makeup were eyebrows and, doing my eyeliner. I love liquid eyeliner. I love like the cat eye right across the top of the eye. I wasn't really big into lashes or anything like that, but that eyeliner was a must have for me. So, one day doing trying to attempt to do my eyeliner, I just couldn't do it. Like, it was just so hard, and that's what really like let me know, like, okay, something is genuinely going on. Because at first I'm like, man, whatever, y'all know what y'all talk about. Like, what I'm saying, I got this. You know what I'm saying? So, when I wasn't able to do that detailed, sharp eyeliner that I've been doing since the beginning of time for me, that's really when it hit me really hard and emotionally and things like that.
Was that after the surgery or before?
It was before the surgery.
So how did you feel after the surgery? Because clearly we see right now you have on makeup. So
Well, after the surgery, I did go through a point of just not knowing what I was gonna look like. I was really devastated. Anybody that know me knows I'm vain as hell. Um, so you go through. So I went through a stage of the not knowing, having anxiety about that, having, depressed moments about that. But I never been a person to where I could just sit down and just stay stuck in that. And two, you know, having a support system, you know what I mean? Like, I leaned on you, I leaned on, my cousin, Dina, my friends, things like that. So, um, having that support system really helped drive me as well. You know what I mean? So, um, I had got to a point to where it was just like, you know what? Because my eye was so big, like it was huge, like huge. And then from having to lay face down, my lips was swollen. My nose had spread. Like I was just swollen all over in my face. So I didn't know what I was gonna end up looking like. So, but then also when the swelling went down, when your skin is stretched like that, it end up becoming once the swelling goes down, your skin gets really really dark. So then my eye didn't open as much as it used to. So I kind of had like a a lazy eye effect. Now it's not so much. Only when I'm really 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 tired, like this bad boy will just be like, look, I'm tired, it's closed, it is what it is, go take my ass to bed. Like type thing. So but my eye was really really dark. So it was just like, okay, even with it being really dark, it really didn't open. So I just didn't know where I would be. So I had told my cousin, I was like, look, I need me some glittery eye patches. Like, I'm just fuck it. I'm just gonna rock this thing however I need to rock it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like I couldn't stay down there like at all. So I had to figure out a way to be fly. I had to figure out a way to just get back to where I felt like myself in this new normal.
What do you think gave you the confidence to? Because I know with a lot of people, when they go through something traumatic, like, not being able to see, and I know I've had my own experience, like during that time where you were going through not being able to see in your left ear, I was also experiencing um, something where I was having a constant ringing in my left ear, and come to find
Right.
out, I still have it, but I also have lost like hearing in my left ear. And I know it's very important to have the right kind of doctors, because when I originally went to the doctor, um, my doctor wasn't in, and you go to the doctor's office and they give you, somebody else who work in the office, and my doctor wasn't in. So I seen this other one of her colleagues that was in her office, and she basically told me stop wearing a headphone in that ear. And I thought it was kind of rude, because first off, I explained to her, like, I have a piercing on the inside of my ear that prevents me from putting the headphone in there in the first place. So
Right.
that wasn't the cause of me having the ringing in my left ear and me being unable to hear. And I pressed the issue and went to go see my doctor, and actually had to go to a specialist for that. So we were kind of experiencing two like serious things at that time. Like, you were losing your sight and I was losing my hearing. But for me, it was just one of those things where, after going to so many doctors and figuring out exactly what it was, and them telling me that I would need a hearing aid, I was just like, no, I'm too young to be walking around with a hearing aid. And as long as I can still hear and I can minimize the ringing on occasion, then I was fine. Like, I could keep pushing through. But being that you're under 40 years old, and your lifestyle consists of you really using your eyes for detail, what was it that pushed you to be like, what, I'm not going to let this one thing, not being able to see out my left eye, keep me from continuing to do what I love, which is wear makeup. Like, you love makeup.
Yeah.
So what
First of
what
all, not that
what do
I
you
need makeup. I just love the creativity of
nobody
it.
said that.
I'm just saying. I just had to put that out there.
But I'm just saying,
but
like,
just,
what was the thing for you that was like, what? I'm still gonna try it. I'm still gonna try to do my own makeup. Because like right now, I can see you have on makeup and you still look flawless with your, you got your nice little bead, you got your eyes, and all of this other stuff that I just can't get with. But um, makeup is not my jam. Um, so if I ever come on here with a B face, know that I had to pay somebody up in the hundreds of dollars to, airbrush me, spray paint me something,
you
because
stupid.
it's not gonna happen.
Did you say?
But
Did you say spray paint you?
whatever they gotta do to get me, to get that snatched face beat
Mhm.
look, it's not gonna happen. But what pushed you to continue to keep trying? Because most people might have just gave up.
Well, mostly, honestly, it was having to go through this whole entire process. It's one of the things that I would have to go back into the process is what I remember when um I it actually had to settle in to the fact that I had to have surgery. And I called our cousin Coach L, and I was just like, I was pissed off. Like, I was clean cut pissed off because a lot of times we have all these plans set for ourselves, but is it really our purpose, or is it really the lane or position that we are supposed to be in, honestly? And a lot of times we go through things to end up helping other people. I didn't realize that until a lot later, because I had to get over myself in that moment. And plus two, also, it's just like it I had to unpack a lot of my own baggage that I had been holding on to for years. And it was just like layers of things that I had to get through. And the even the title of this show, Vision Without Vision, came about because I was talking to my cousin, Coach L, and I was just like, how is it that I'm supposed to have a vision with no vision? Like, how's that even possible? How can you have, a set goal or a vision in mind for yourself, but you can't even physically actually see? You know what I mean? So once I unpacked a lot of just like past hurt, trauma, things that I went through when I was younger, um, the breaking down of relationships and things that I actually had to realize of who I am through the core, because a lot of things that really stood on as a person, honestly, I had to let go. And I completely had to start from scratch and start over. So I think with that is how I got to the point to where it's just like, you know what, I might not be able to do the exact things that I was able to do before with the things that I love, but I can still do something. So I
Okay.
took that little something and I made that shit work for me in my own way.
What was something that you had to let go of? You said that you had to fully restart. Basically, you had to dig deep, explore like traumas and everything. But
Yeah, I'm not
um,
an emotional person, honestly. Like, I laugh about a lot of shit because I am literally, if they had a keep it moving picture of a person in a dictionary, that was me. Like, some shit would happen, I'd be like, you know what? Oh well, I'm just gonna keep it moving. Like, that shit happened, pack it away. I'm not dealing with that motion. I'm not finna feel them feels. I just I ain't got time for it. I gotta keep it going. So in that, I had to start dealing with my emotions, and because it will also affect relationships in the way that people look at you. Because I even had an ex tell me that I was a Teflon Don. Then I couldn't nothing penetrate me, but I just felt like, since you took me to this point to where I'm not fucking with you, I'm not finna give you the satisfaction of seeing me in an emotion or seeing that I'm hurt.
okay,
But in those moments, I had to relearn that it's okay to feel hurt. It's okay to have those emotions. And you honestly need to deal with those emotions. And then, two, I have been on a long journey as well with doctors and things like that, because automatically they'll just try to say, oh, it's because you're over, what I'm saying? It's because of your weight and this, that, and the third. Like, and that's not even the case. Like, when it comes to, like, now that I have a whole new medical team, and like, The doctor I have now is wonderful, like pulling records, really getting down to the nitty gritty of things to figure out why I even got to the point that I am. And a lot of it was, based around like being on birth control since I was 16 years old, and the different
Mm.
birth controls and how it affects your blood pressure and things like that. So with having the damage in my eye, also dealing with blood, being on birth control and how it affects your blood pressure and things like that goes hand in hand together. So years to come, I mean, it's been a major thing and impact.
Well, that's good to know. So, I think in life we all have, health. Sometimes you have to be more conscious of the things that we do with our body and not just I know it's a lot of holistic medications and things now out there that people are leaning more towards, like just doing natural remedies versus taking all of this prescribed medication and this and that. You know, there was something else that I wanted you to touch on as far as
I mean,
that.
so all medications are not horrible, but you don't have to stay with those. You know what I'm saying? Just do your research, do the work, do what you need to do to stay 110% healthy, and, you know, find the doctor that works for you, not for the companies. That will make a world of difference.
So also, as you guys know, we do want you to drop what we call a sib note, meaning email us with any questions,
Hmm.
concerns, comments. Like and subscribe on all major Apple Podcasts as well as other podcast platforms. We definitely would like to hear from you. You could drop us a sib note, meaning, drop your siblings a note at Regina Kids
Our sibling,
Podcast at gmail.com. So that's Regina, Reginas, Kids, KIDS, podcast, podcast at gmail.com. So, Rita, with you, it's been a couple of years now, and
yeah.
you don't have the vision in your left eye. What are some things that you still are able to do? Because some people may think that once something traumatic happens to them, then that's a complete setback. Like we see now that you basically overcame the process of not being able to do your own makeup and you conquered that, so you do your own makeup. What else do you do that you used to do before when you had vision in both your eyes? What's not stop what is not what let me see. How do I want to ask this? With you not having vision in your left eye, what don't you do?
What don't I do?
Yeah.
Um, I don't drive as much, only because people drive crazy as hell in Florida. One, two, I just have to get more comfortable with there. Um, in safety is something I'm not all the way comfortable with just yet. Um,
Okay.
but it's not. It's something that I plan on, continuing to get better and better at. I can do whatever I put my mind to do, but it's just pretty much starting from scratch, seeing, you know, what I need to adjust and things like that. Practice makes perfect, because I didn't get back to this point with just doing my own makeup overnight. I had to find the right mirrors. Do I zoom all the way, zoom all the way in, and then I mean, honestly, like you don't realize the difference it is in trying to get the right type of angle when you're only using you don't have all of this that extra on this side. You know what I mean? So practice makes perfect.
So you do everything. She still works. She still travels by herself.
I do.
Um,
It don't get me wrong. Sometimes it could be funny. I like if I don't if I do something too quick, I will most definitely run into something. Like somebody could easily roll up on me on the left, and I'd be like, "Wait a minute, wait when you get there," like stuff like that. But
but pretty much, you losing your vision hasn't stopped you from wanting to achieve any of your other goals. So I remember
no,
talking to you when it happened, and I was just like, sometimes in life you just have to rebrand. Like the first half of your life may not be what you're supposed to do for your duration of your life. So
yeah,
sometimes you just changes. I just did a video today to say change isn't always bad. Big hair don't care. That's how I ended it, but that had nothing to do with you have a
no
vision.
change.
That
I mean,
that's
change
just me
isn't
trying out
always
some new
bad.
hair. But change isn't always bad. So,
Yeah,
what would be your sib note for this episode? Like, what advice would you have for anybody who's going through something traumatic or have experienced something health wise that kind of set them back?
having a positive attitude will save you a lot of grief. You know what I'm saying? Having staying positive and having a positive mindset of maybe I'm not able, instead of saying can't, just say I'm not able to do it right now, but I will build myself to be able to do it later. Like there is no such thing as can't. You just have to, like with anything that you do, you have to put that work in to get there. So we everybody falls on their ass at some points in time. You get to a point of the bottom, but it's not how you got there, it's how you finish.
Okay. So, let nothing stop you from being
I
great.
don't there where there's a will there's a way. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, where there is a will there is a way. You might have to craft your lane a little bit differently, and go another direction and go around and get there, but you can still get there.
That's good to know. So, in this episode, she did speak of reaching out to Coach L. Coach L
Radical
is
radio,
is
radical
a
radio.
is a spiritual life coach. She is also the host of another podcast that I produce called The Radical Radio Show, which can be found on Facebook, YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Is The Radical Radio. If you are looking for a spiritual life coach, somebody who can help you get your thoughts in order to possibly she's a spiritual life coach because she's faith based. She is similar to a regular life coach, but she can be found at Radical Life, and that's Radical RADICAL Life LYFE.com. So www.radicallife.com. Um, on there, you'll see everything radical. She is definitely somebody to reach out
Most definitely.
to get it to reach out to if you need someone to talk to for a spiritual life coach. I'm all about positivity, healing. If you need therapy, I'm sure there's plenty of things that you could do to reach out to someone to speak to go through whatever you're going through. So, as always, we appreciate you guys joining us on this episode of Regina's Kids, and let's continue to glow through whatever it is we're going through. And right now, summer is in full swing, so get your curls moisturized and get out there and get some sunshine. And we'll
Oh,
see y'all next week.
Bye, guys.